Alright, so I wanted to speak on something that was very interesting to me. And I heard Mike Evans speak about he's willing to take a pay cut in order to stay with Tampa, right? But his teammate, Shaq Barrett, says that he wants to break the bank. Like, he's looking for a big contract. And I believe he played his way into a big contract. Because he didn't have a Pro Bowl type season, but playoffs, though, he deserved the payday. And, there was also news about, LeBron James. He is about to be a billionaire. Like, he's on the way to being a billionaire. And I heard Skip Bayless speak about, LeBron James and his unwillingness to take a pay cut to bring in better talent. And it's like, who are you to tell somebody about how to get their money? And who are you to tell people, who are you to cut in anybody's pockets? Like, we live in a world, right, where blacks are already at a disadvantage, numbers-wise. And we're at a disadvantage in society. And whenever we have the opportunity to get what we are afforded, if y'all are in the business of getting what y'all are worth, y'all have to go and get what y'all are worth. Like, there's way too many people who are worth more money to what they're receiving taking pay cuts. Like, Tim Duncan was taking he was taking way too many pay cuts in order to just stay with the Spurs. But he probably wasn't as worth it anymore because he was on the backside of his career, so I get it. I'm talking about guys like Tom Brady, who was in the prime of his career, right? He was underpaid. He's been underpaid his entire career. But what he got out of that was championships, right? But there was a long hiatus, that 10-year gap that I spoke of in previous videos. He was taking pay cuts during that time when he still wasn't winning championships. And what people don't realize is that, with the endorsements that you guys get, yes, I know that you guys make money off your endorsements too. But y'all don't think about the management that you pay for, the agent that you pay for, your trainers that you pay for, the mortgage that you pay for, the cars, like all the things that you want to do in life, and even for your family, your friends who your accountant. And it's like, there's been way too many people who are worried about what the league says about them, NBA or NFL, instead of going out and getting what you're worth. Like LeBron James, for instance. Like, he was going around from team to team to team trying to win a championship because there were people talking about his legacy. Kevin Durant went from OKC to a already made championship team to the Warriors because he wanted to win a championship because of his legacy. We've seen Charles Barkley go from team to team, from Phoenix to a loaded team in Houston, try to win a championship. And I've also seen players like Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal, even though their team is not winning a championship, they stayed there because they tell us that they want to stay there to win a championship, but they also are getting that super max. Not the max deal. I'm talking about the super max. that 5-year, $200 million deals. Because eventually, yes, you want to win a championship. But you also got to look out for your family. Like, the legacy that you leave behind is good. It's bigger than the NBA. It's bigger than the NFL. The legacy that you leave behind is going to be how your family sees you, how your friends sees you, how the people that love and care about you see you. Like, yeah, like, people kill Giannis for not leaving Milwaukee. Like, people are killing Bradley Beal for not, for not asking for a trade. And it's like, people kill Carmelo for not having a championship. And it's like, he wasn't, and then, he could have been part of the big three in Miami. But he wasn't willing to sacrifice what, his skills and what he's willing to get paid for. Like, he wasn't willing to sacrifice that. And it's sad because, yes, we love to see basketball. We love to see super teams. We love to see, three-headed monsters on one team getting, winning championships. But at the end of the day, the legacy that you leave behind is going to be far more worth what your family sees about you versus what the league thinks of you. And it's like, Charles Barkley didn't win a championship. He never won a championship. But he's still one of the top 5 best power forwards in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dirk Nowitzki only won one title. But it was with a team that he's been with throughout his entire career. And when you retire, your city, it don't matter where you go. The city that you played for is gonna love you forever, because you was willing to sacrifice winning championships on other teams. You was willing to sacrifice not playing on super teams to try and win a championship in the city that drafted you. And people kill Charles Barkley all the time for not having a championship. But at the end, of the day, his legacy is he's one of the top 5 best power forwards of all time. They killed Chris Paul for not having a championship, but guess what? He's still one of the top 5, top 6 best point guards of all time. They're killing, Phillip Rivers, and they killed Don Marino for not having a championship, but guess what? Dan Marino and Phillip Rivers are probably, Dan Marino is top 5 best quarterbacks of all time. I think Phillip Rivers probably top 10, top 15 of all time. Phillip Rivers played with the same team for 15 years, except for the 1 year with the Colts. Like, so people go from team to team trying to win a championship and are willing to take pay cuts, but you don't know what's going to happen to you in practice. You don't know what's going to happen to you in games. Like that Prescott wasn't willing to settle for anything less than what he wanted. But he should have took what the deal that was offered to him. And sometimes too, like, people sit out for more than what they think they're worth. And sometimes you just got to take the deal that comes with it, because a lot of times people overplay their hands. Dak Prescott overplayed his hand. There's been many players in the league who've been overplaying their hand, trying to cheat the system, saying that they're more, like, they're worth more than what they're offered. But people like Mike Evans and Tom Brady, they've been under. Well, Mike Evans especially been under. He's really undermining his value because he wants to stay with Tampa Bay, and I'm like, you don't know how many people are looking for paydays. Chris Godwin is a free agent. Who else? Shaq Barrett's gonna be a free agent. Antonio Brown's gonna be a free agent. Grant is gonna be a free agent. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know how much money has to be doled out. Like, you don't know. So for players that are in the league, man, looking for payday, yo, take what you're worth. Negotiate all you want to, but you have to have. Hopefully, you have a good agent that is with you throughout the step of the way. But people have to start taking what they're worth, man. Take as much as you think you worth. Stop taking these pay cuts. These pay cut, man. Like, you gotta think about your family, man. Think about, like, if you're on the downside of your career, if you've been in the league 10 years, okay. If you're willing to stay with that franchise for another 5, 6 years, and you probably don't have as much in the tank as you once did, but you're willing to take a pay cut so that they won't cut you, then fine. But don't be afraid to test the market. Don't be afraid to test free agency, because there's always a team looking for talent. Always. So, you know what I'm saying? Just get what you're worth, man. Go out and get that money.